Chanel here, your menopause nutritionist. Got a couple of things I want to talk to you about today, and to be quite honest, quite different things. But anyway, we're gonna hit it, and the first thing is actually about the calorie deficit that I have been currently doing. And I also want to preface this by saying that if you're following along over here and you're sick of listening to calorie deficit information, then that is completely fine. I am actually going to transition out of a calorie deficit pretty much in the next week or two, because my focus is building muscle now. I just wanted to get rid of a little bit of belly fat, but I will actually, this is where the conversation kind of crosses over to my next subject, which is I'm going to talk about is HRT. Probably should have made 2 episode recordings, but anyway, here we go. We're going to cross them over, so bear with me. So we're going to talk about the calorie deficit quickly first, but what I really want you to understand, if you're listening in over here, is my focus is building muscle. And the reason for that is because strong equals longevity. So also building muscle is actually how you change your body composition in this stage of life. Well, any stage of life, but when you're younger, it doesn't matter so much. But here, right now, building muscle is how you actually get the definition, ironically. But actually, the true meaning of building muscle and being strong is that I am not afraid of being an old lady, because what I do now will keep me out of the nursing home. It will keep me from being that statistic where if I break my hip when I'm 65, 50% of women a year post-surgery will actually die. It's horrible statistics. So my goal and my passion and my inspiration is to inspire you to get on the bandwagon and be empowered to become an old lady, not be scared about it, because the things you're doing now are ticking the boxes. So anyway, back to the calorie deficit really quickly. For those of you who have been tuning in about it, you won't be hearing as much information from me about it. The last 8 weeks I've been talking a lot about it. So if you have missed anything, then go to Menopause Nutritionist Podcast and listen to all of the content I've put out about the calorie deficit. That is information and content I've shared to help you on yours. So that's why I did it. Now, the reason I just am going to touch on it quickly today is because yesterday was my weigh-in and the scale went up quite substantially. Now, if you've listened to me talking about it, you'll know that I don't actually care about the number. And that is something that, as a Gen X, I have been reforming, because that, if you are Gen X listening in, is how we grew up. Is that jumping on the scales was our definition of whether we were succeeding or not. We are breaking that habit. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't jump on the scales. I think it still gives you some data. However, it's not necessarily going to give you your success. Because yesterday when I jumped on the scale went up, which, like I said, I don't care about, and it doesn't surprise me because I'm over here building muscle. I'm like gonna flex all the time because I'm like proud of building muscle. So I wasn't surprised about that, because building muscle, sometimes that happens. I don't care. Building muscle is my priority. However, today, and I normally just weigh myself once a week, but today I got on because I had a feeling that there would be a change. And so today it was 900 grams less, almost a kilo difference in body weight. Now, I wanted to share this with you quickly because, in all honesty, this is where, as women, we have to understand the scale can fluctuate crazy amounts. And there's a number of reasons for that, and I've talked about this in previous podcast episodes. However, this is why the scale is not the best measure sometimes, right? A kilo, that's like a lot, and there's a lot of reasons around that. Now, personally for myself, I have been taking estradiol, which is the gel, and if you listened to my social media, I actually shared how I take my HRT, how I use it, how I apply it. So you'll find that video on my social media if you search for it. It's just like a couple of minutes showing you my nighttime routine, how I take my HRT. And I have had so many people reach out about it. And so I thought I would answer some of those questions. But the reason there's a crossover is that truly you can get a few side effects when you start taking HRT, and one of them can be a bit of bloating, which I truly actually think has happened to me. I've had this bloating over the last 8 weeks and I couldn't work out what it was. I thought maybe it was caffeine from coffee. I thought it might have been, over consuming dairy. I don't really tolerate dairy and I might have been a bit lax about it. However, I do think it's actually been the HRT and my body adjusting to it. So that can be a side effect. What happens is when we start HRT, not everyone, but sometimes you can get slight side effects and things like maybe a bit of bloating or some tenderness in your breasts, just a few little side effects. And this is, I guess, a really strong message, just like your calorie deficit, just like your nutrition, that it's not a one size fits all in anything we do really. So HRT is the same. It's very unique. I had a friend of mine reach out because I was showing on my video that I put my estradiol on my arms, I rub it in. And she said for her, she was very sensitive to hormones and she got really sore boobs and then they just blew up and she had to actually go off the HRT, dial down, and then she's changed how she applies it now. She puts it on the inside of her thighs because she was really super sensitive. And I think the reason I'm sharing this is please don't feel scared if you haven't tried HRT. Many people don't get any side effects at all, but sometimes if you're sensitive, you can. And when I had a Mirena, for example, when I had a Mirena put in for 12 weeks, I had some side effects and symptoms, and it took a while. I almost was going to get the thing out because I was not feeling great about it, and then it all settled. So just know that your body, if you're a bit sensitive, can go through some of that adjustment, and it makes sense, right? If we've lost our hormones and then we're starting to give them back, your body it's just trying to balance itself and re-regulate. So I just wanted to make that kind of clear. And I also just wanted to start with just giving you an update on that scale movement, because for me, I think some of the bloating was causing this regulation and the scales going up and down that I have absolutely no control over. Because quite frankly, I know my body composition is changing. I can see the muscles and I'm excited for it. But that bloating was hanging around. And so I guess my message here is if you're going to be trying something like HRT and introducing it, then the 12-week period that you are starting that and letting your body adapt to it, know that some of these things may affect your body composition. So give your body some grace through that period of time. So that's my message there for that one. But I did want to answer some of your questions because I have had so many people reach out. And I think honestly, the reason I did the video showing you how I apply my HRT is because when I started HRT, I actually wasn't 100% sure. I couldn't remember what my doctor told me, and they don't on the box. I don't know, anyone listening into this, if you're on HRT, go check your box. Maybe your doctor is more descriptive than mine. My box just says as per the doctor. And then I couldn't remember what my doctor said, right? Not great. So then I was I couldn't remember exactly when I was meant to take it. And the cool thing for me, and this is why I do content for you guys, is so I can help you learn more through my knowledge. As I learn, I'm trying to teach you guys, so you can be better. That's truly my mission. So I was I'm going to show people what I do because truly I haven't seen anyone do it, and this might help other people. That's what my intention was. So many people have reached out either asking questions or commenting or just like, thank you for doing this so I can see what you're doing. So like I said, if you haven't seen it and you're listening to this, probably the easiest way you'll find it is actually on my YouTube channel. Little plug, go subscribe over there. You will see all of, I'm really ramping up that channel. So I would truly appreciate you to subscribe over there. If you are tuning in, you will find the little how I apply my HRT video over there, and then you can see what I'm talking about. So I wanted to just answer or talk to some of the questions that I was asked, because I'm actually getting quite a number, and then I can direct people to this video so they are getting the answers they need, because I'm getting so many questions. So one of the things was those side effects, are there side effects? Now, there's some good books out there, and some of them is, I use them actually on my book club, on my Thrive program, but there's amazing ones like The Menopause Brain by Dr. Lisa Mosconi, The New Menopause by Dr. Mary Claire Haver, I can't remember the one I'm reading at the moment, but we're probably going to do it on my next Thrive program. It is Dr. Louise Hay's book, and she is the menopause doctor. So heaps of information in there. And so basically you can, depending on, like I just mentioned, if you're sensitive to hormones, have some side effects. Generally it's your body adjusting, and it should minimize. My, message, and based on what my friend had just said when we were talking, is that if you are feeling like side effects that are kind of slight, or you definitely feel out of sorts, go back to your doctor. Don't put up with them. That's my message for you on the side effect issue. Now, some of the other questions I have heard or have been asked is, how did I get my HRT? So clearly some people are not understanding the process. You should be able to go to your GP, and your GP should be able to help you. Now, if your GP doesn't want to help you and you've decided HRT is something you want to take, then maybe you need to find another GP. So I'm lucky I work with, or am kind of affiliated with some really awesome GPs here in Australia, and they do telehealth. So feel free to comment here or message me, and I'm happy to pass their information on. But having someone on your side is really important. So these days, if your doctor's not working with you, then it's definitely time to find someone who is. Another question I got asked was about testosterone. So do I use a compounded version, or can I buy this over the counter? The one I have at the moment is compounded. I believe that you can get one that is already made, but you need to have a pretty direct process to get it prescribed through your GP, unfortunately. So what I'm thinking I might do is do an actual episode with one of the doctors who I am kind of affiliated with, and we can talk through the absolute, gold standard of HRT and I'll answer all of these questions that you're putting to me with one of my GP friends. That's probably going to be the best way, because you can throw questions my way and I'll get them all answered for you. But basically for me, another question was around the testosterone. As an athlete, does it affect me competing in sport? So I'm actually not competing at the moment. However, if I was competing, my take on it is that when you're having hormone replacement therapy, what you're doing is you've got a hormone level, and in menopause, those hormones drop. So what we are doing by replacing our hormones is just bringing them back to base level. So I'm not going over and above my testosterone limits or levels. I'm actually just bringing them from low back to where they should be normal. So if I was to be tested, it should just be normal range. So that's my understanding around it. I have not had to be tested, and so at the moment it's not an issue for me. But if you are an athlete competing, then I guess you would need to look further into it. But that is my understanding around it for now, if that makes sense. So there were lots of other questions that were thrown my way. So like I said, what I will do is get one of my GP friends. We will do a podcast episode together and get all of these answered so we can give you more comprehensive information so you have everything you need. Oh, one of the questions, for example, was I was doing my HRT routine at night, and she said, oh, I use my estrogen gel in the morning. Does that matter? So you can definitely use it in the morning. You can use it at night. What we have kind of discussed with the girls, the GPs I work with, is that either the morning or the night, whenever you remember. It needs to be regular. So for me, I actually leave my estrogen gel right next to my skincare. So I do my face and then I do my estrogen. So it's part of my nightly routine. That works better for me because I do things like swimming and exercise. So I know at night my hormones won't get kind of interfered with. So that is how, the one thing I will tell you though, is that if you are wanting to be intimate with your partner, you need to wait till after that before you put your hormones on. So I tend to, that's why I leave it with my face care. And then if there's any of that going on, because you don't want to be transferring any of your hormones to anyone else, I wait till the very, all of the boxes have been ticked, so to speak. And then I put it on for the night. So I just wanted to have it. I didn't talk about that on the little video, but I thought I would mention that here. So I hope that helps you guys. This is just a little bit of a truly update based on that video. I only posted it last night, but I have been blown away at how many people have reached out. So I truly hope that helps you, on your journey. And it's one of those things that I think people, and the reason I have an HRT masterclass on my Thrive program is because my job is to give you all of the education, because in my journey, when my doctor talked about HRT, I didn't understand what it was. And so because I didn't understand what it was, I just went, right, I'm not doing that. And I put it on hold for a long time, it's 7 years. And I don't want other people to do that. I want you to actually know. I want you to have the knowledge. And if you then decide you don't want to do it, then that's completely fine. Or maybe you're not actually able to do it. However, don't just kind of chuck your head in the sand and not know. I want you to have the information, make the decision based on what's right for you, if that makes sense. So that's kind of this isn't take HRT, it's for everyone. This is everything, and I've talked about this over the past week. If someone is blanket statement, all women must do this, all women should do X, or all women shouldn't do, I truly believe that's a red flag. We are all so different and individual, and you also need to make decisions based on what's right for you. So please make sure you take that seriously and learn and then decide for yourself. And that's anything, nutrition, exercise. There's some obviously kind of basics that are black and white, like your macros, they're black and white. However, well, they're not actually, but protein, I'm just gonna say, protein is a non-negotiable. So you'll never hear me say, no, you can get away with not eating protein. That's black and white. You must have more protein, and there's reasons for that. That's just an example. But generally, if it's things like HRT or, you need to, ice bathing, you need to make that decision based on the information you get, and maybe you test and retest and you decide for yourself. So that's just where I sit on that one. So I hope this has been helpful. As you know, I'm truly passionate about helping other women be their best. I know that old age isn't scary, and we can be strong, amazing old women having full, active, incredible lives. And that's what this is all about, starting now into our old age. So if you would or are ready to master your nutrition and lifestyle, I will just plug and tell you that my Thrive program is where I do that. I teach you how to do that. So all of the things, I like to talk of it like a puzzle, the Thrive puzzle, where all of these little pieces we put together to make the optimal version of you, like you feeling your absolute best, getting the body composition of your choice, like just absolutely loving your life and thriving. And that's what my Thrive programs are about. So if you are keen and ready to do that and get results for yourself, then the next round will be kicking off in June. You can grab the link to the waitlist here in the comment section, and you can join, and you'll get a great discount if you do decide to join. Basically what you're doing is just signing up for communication so you don't miss it. Also, I will be running another free protein challenge. I think I had 900 sign up for the last one, so don't miss that one. It's going to be incredible. I do send out weekly emails with menopause approved, usually sweet treats because I have a sweet tooth, that will help you on your menopause journey. They taste delicious. One of my passions is helping women understand they can absolutely look forward to their food and it should taste amazing. That is another absolute non-negotiable for me. You should enjoy your food. So sign up to my email list. You'll get weekly recipes as well. I think that's all I had there'll be a new one coming out tomorrow. I think that's all I had to tell you. Have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.